coming off a banger Raw last night where Rhea came back right when Dom started liking all that stuff that Liv Morgan was doing. WrestleLamia drops his new vid, man. So let's see what the homie got to talk about.
Back with another video. Join us now as we look into this week's edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know,
Give that boy
including
a
why
subscribe,
Logan
y'all.
Paul isn't on the Japanese tour. Is WWE changing up a major match at SummerSlam? A WWE wrestler gone. The Anoa'i family's plea to fans. A new announcer headed to WWE. Sad news for a former WWE star, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleLamia XL. As always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good is number one, Mommy's Home. A Mommy's Home and Dirty Dom is definitely in the doghouse. Fans have been waiting for Rhea Ripley's return since Liv Morgan injured her after WrestleMania, and the WWE handled things brilliantly, including a well-crafted long shot that conveyed the dread Liv Morgan had at a return and Dominic's realization that he's got a lot of explaining to do. The WWE kept the return short, giving fans just enough to sink their teeth into, as Ripley made it clear she is very unhappy with Dominic Mysterio, a situation certain to have fans tuning in for next week's Raw. Next up, the Seth Punk rivalry.
I like the fact that Dom was just about to break. He jumped and gave her the big hug, and then they fell on top of each other. Oh man, I mean, he's not in a bad position, I'll tell you what. But let's see, I think Mommy's about to say something about that. He might, man, I think he's gonna end up with Liv. I'm telling you, watch.
Reignite. And just like that, the WWE's reignited the Seth Rollins CM Punk rivalry that began at Punk Survivor Series return. This quality storytelling shows consistency in Rollins' animosity towards Punk never went away, and that the ease in tension was more of a case of both superstars having other matters on their mind. Rollins' threat to keep Punk from renewing his rivalry with McIntyre should make for compelling TV as weeks go by. Also, we couldn't help Punk's little burn at AEW. Punk during his promo mentioned, "There's people on this side of the camera," pointing to the hard side cam, and as we all know, AEW doesn't really have those fans there. Number 3, Damian Priest coming into his own. Damian Priest has come into his own not only as a world champion, but an overall performer. Priest seems more comfortable with promos, and he's found a way to channel his charisma into something tangible that fans can enjoy. His ring work has also improved, not because he was lacking, but because he worked hard to be his very best. With any luck, the WWE will continue utilizing him as a featured player, regardless of whether he's world champion or not. Number 4, could the new faction help Sonya Deville? Could Sonya Deville's alliance with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark help her get back on track?
Big
Deville
fan
hasn't
of
had the
Shayna
best luck
Baszler,
over the last few years, seeing her career sidelined due to a real-life stalker and a lengthy injury. Despite these setbacks, Deville keeps plugging away, and while Baszler and Stark aren't exactly tearing things up, the addition of Deville could end up being a case of her sum being greater than the whole of the parts, and fans taking a liking to the WWE's newest faction. The trio already has something going for them, as a feud with Damage Control seems like a great start. Number 5, a big night for brawling. A Braun Breaker handled his surprising loss to Sami Zayn at Money in the Bank with all the grace and dignity you'd expect, promptly spearing Zayn through the promo exchange and laying him out. Zayn's subsequent attempt at payback later on led to some fisticuffs, and while the IC champion came up short, it made for exciting entertainment. Number 6, Hoss Fight Alert, Sheamus vs Bronson Reed. Sheamus and Bronson Reed have nothing going on right now, so let's throw them into a feud. Now, this could be boring booking under the old regime where wrestlers were thrown together into programs with no rhyme or reason, but the WWE quickly set this one up as a case of an up-and-coming brawler looking to test himself at one of WWE's biggest and baddest brutes, or maybe at least in his heyday. This program could be excellent if Sheamus isn't booked solely to put Reed over. Number 7, Gable's had enough. Is Chad Gable recruiting the Creed brothers? Well, fans have asked this for weeks, as Gable has been chatting up Brutus and Julius for weeks. Considering how much pressure the Wyatt Six are putting on Chad, this makes sense, and it'll be interesting to see if Gable's new allies are able to help. And Liv Morgan and Judgment Day segments are pure gold. And Liv Morgan's interactions with the Judgment Day continue to deliver, whether it's Morgan's obsession with Dominic Mysterio, Damian Priest's frustration over Dom refusing to get rid of Morgan, so much so that Priest even said he knows how Rey Mysterio feels, but these are hilarious segments. One segment saw Priest telling Dom to dump Liv because it's not that hard, and Carlito looking at Dom's nether regions after he got up close and personal with Liv and thinking otherwise. Carlito's inclusion in these segments have been surprisingly good, and he provides some humor by showing his mind is always in the gutter. And that was a good What About the Bad? It's number 1, Braun Strowman, WWE's biggest jobber. It's official, Braun Strowman is back into being WWE's biggest job guy. It didn't take long since his return from injury, and it's not a surprise as the WWE just doesn't know how to use the big man. The The monster among monsters is this generation's Big Show, a wrestler who could be winning constantly but who puts over other talent instead. And number 2, Lyra Valkyria needs to be kept from jobbers. Speaking of jobbers, last night's pairing of Lyra Valkyria with enhancement team Caden Carter and Katana Chance is not a good look for her. She's a rising star who shouldn't be working alongside wrestlers whose wins are very rare. And we understand WWE probably wants to give Lyra TV time, but the optics are bad because it's easy for fans to start thinking of her as enhancement talent too. Now there was nothing downright ugly. Raw wasn't the well-structured show of the last few episodes, perhaps a sign that WWE's talent and creative team were still in Money in the Bank mode. Nevertheless, last night's Red Brand was an entertaining show. What did you guys think of Raw last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now first story looks at WWE changing up a major match at SummerSlam. Atop of today's news is speculation that WWE could change the rumored CM Punk vs Drew McIntyre match. While the match hasn't been confirmed, nor has WWE confirmed whether Punk will be medically cleared to compete, Meltzer believes that the match could become a triple threat following last night's confrontation between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. So when this segment was over, and I don't know, I thought they were probably going to go with a three-way at SummerSlam if he's cleared rather than a singles match. He then went on to explain that they were all
plus it helps CM Punk decrease his risk of injury.
Always going to do Punk and Seth because that's been built up for a long time, but you don't need to go so hard in that direction if it's going to be a singles match because SummerSlam is only a couple of weeks away. It's certainly the expectation that Punk is going to be wrestling Drew McIntyre on that show, but I think they may go with the three-way to maybe build to Punk and Drew. Now we're not so sure about this. It doesn't make sense to do a triple threat match and dilute the profits the WWE might make by booking Punk vs McIntyre at SummerSlam and Punk vs Rollins at a future event. The biggest reason for doing a triple threat would be if the WWE felt Punk and or Rollins needed a less taxing match due to their recoveries from injury. Would you guys like to see two separate one-on-ones or a triple threat? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a WWE wrestler gone. A Damon Kemp, real name Bobby Stevenson, as he's a brother of Gable Stevenson, just announced on Monday that he is now a free agent. According to his X account, as of today, I'm no longer under contract with WWE. Forever grateful for the people I met and the experiences I've had. Now, Fightful reported that Kemp's contract was not renewed by WWE and it's not a part of the cuts. As we mentioned, Kemp is the brother of Olympic gold medalist Gable Stevenson, who was actually released in May. We're wishing all the best for Damon Kemp. Next up, WWE interested in a big star. A current Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace has been getting some national attention in wrestling following her appearances in NXT, leading to fans asking when she might be available to sign with WWE. She recently appeared on Matt Morgan's gigantic pop YouTube show revealing, "I'm under contract until January of this upcoming year. It's coming up." It's extremely likely that WWE is interested in signing Grace, as a 28-year-old has excelled in pro wrestling, bodybuilding and powerlifting, showing a passion for everything she's involved in, a trait that could lead to even bigger things for her should she join the WWE. Next up, a new announcer headed to WWE. The WWE is shaking up its commentary team again, as the New York Post is reporting WWE has added an elite sports play-by-play broadcaster to its roster. ESPN announcer Joe Tessitore will begin calling WWE later this summer. The report added that he will join Corey Graves and Wade Barrett. It's unknown whether the trio will stay on SmackDown or head to Raw. Next up, why Logan Paul isn't joining WWE's Japanese tour. Logan Paul won't be joining the WWE on its upcoming tour in Japan. PW Insider reported that Paul is unavailable due to quote-unquote other commitments. But X-account AO commented that PW Insider is reporting that Logan Paul will not be on WWE's upcoming tour in Japan because of other commitments. Yeah, I'm sure it's the other commitments and not the fact that he was banned from the country for life for filming and uploading the body of a man who took his own life. Now, even though the tweet suggests that he's been banned from Japan, that is not the case.
I mean, I'm sure
while he's unlikely to have a red carpet rolled out for him, he's not banned. But that being said, the WWE may feel the optics are bad and there's nothing to be gained by bringing Paul along for the tour. Next up, Anoa'i family's plea to fans. As the Anoa'i family deals with the passing of Sika, it's sending a message about respecting their privacy, particularly when it comes to pictures from the funeral. The message addressed to the WWE Universe from the Anoa'i family reads, if you're a fan or a fan page and have access to the content videos some of the Anoa'i family is sharing, be respectful and don't repost. If you have access to family pages, it doesn't mean it's your place to share their experiences. Remain respectful from a distance and understand what's content to share and what's not for sharing. Keep videos private. The request also added, sharing a photo of Roman Reigns and his cousin Jimmy Uso is fine. Sharing the actual funeral part is not okay with the Anoa'i family. Thank you. Now, we have seen some pretty vile videos going over on social media, even the actual open casket of Sika Anoa'i. That's just not on, and please refrain from posting such a thing. Next up, sad news for a former WWE star. A former WWE superstar, Marie Kanellis, is reminding fans to take care of their health. She recently revealed on X that, so fun story, 6 months ago I asked to get my adrenal glands checked and blood work done to check my hormone levels because of symptoms I'd been having. Insurance would not approve the test. Fast forward today, I had a CT with contrast to check a mass that was found accidentally during another test. That is either on my kidney or adrenal gland. Moral of the story, listen to your body. Marie managed to share an update saying, so here's the update. Yes, it's a mass on my adrenal gland. Next step is meeting with an endocrinologist surgeon. It's inconclusive at this point if it is cancer. In other news, I ate french fries and concrete mixture and I feel a little bit better. We hope everything is okay with Marie Kanellis and we send our well wishes to her for a full recovery. And finally, Pat McAfee's hilarious response to being censored. Last but not least, fans know it's impossible to predict what will come out of Pat McAfee's mouth, whether he's on his talk show or calling color commentary. Such was the case on Raw when he described Bron Breakker. Fightful Selection Ross Sapp summarized Pat's comment, Michael Cole's reaction, and Pat's response.
This is funny.
Pat McAfee described Bron Breakker as a brick shit house, and they censored it. There's other ways to describe it, said Michael Cole. It's 9:52 p.m. Eastern. There's no other way to describe it, said McAfee. What do you guys think of Pat's latest remarks, and do you think it'll get even wilder when Raw goes to Netflix?
Oh, yeah.
Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more rest.
Yeah, man, that was Pat's funny, man. He's off the cuffs funny too, man. They gotta bring him back to College Game Day. I don't know why all these people are so butthurt because he's such a star, and you know what I'm saying. Come back to College Game Day, Brad. You crazy? But as far as I'm more excited to see what's gonna happen with Liv and Mommy. So hey, go give WrestleLamia a subscribe. Give your boy a subscribe. Peace.